It's me, SpritesNBytes. A bunch of PS1 games. I can just walk in and out of thrift store. Hello gamers, it's me, SpilLIN. It's my show. Glad to be back, man. Hello gamers, it's me, SpilLIN. This is my show. Glad to be back to do another video. I wanted to do a video response. I haven't done one in a while. I just happened to be going through Google Plus and discovered an awesome YouTuber by the name of SyberSnake7. I'll leave a link down in the description to the video and to his channel. It was in regards to a video talking about, have you ever broken the bank buying video games? And I have to say yes. Ever since I took on the idea, or it became a part of my life, collecting is what I'm referring to, then it got to a point for me that that's what I started to do. I started collecting. I started buying games, buying consoles. And when I started doing those things, along with that came spending. And where my habits was in a bad place. I pretty much was, I'll spend money. When I first started collecting back in 2012, I bought almost almost 300 games at that point in 1 year. And the price range would just vary. I mean, we would go down to few dollars, and then some games would be up there really, really high. I can't even begin to tell you how much money I actually spent during that course of that time. Because I know I probably bought, when in that first year, I haven't even looked back at my old videos to even see. But I think in that first year, I bought at least 3 consoles. It was either 3 or 4. Because I don't know if I bought the original Xbox the next year or the same year. So I bought Super Nintendo, a Nintendo, Sega Genesis. I think I got the Sega CD and the Xbox the same year. So if I did that, if I bought all those in 1 year, that would have been like 5 or whatever. And each one came with a certain amount of games. And each one had, like the Super Nintendo had 9 games that came along with it. The Nintendo, I think it only had maybe 1 or 2 games. I had to buy, that was the one I had to buy the most to get the software lineup started. The Sega Genesis came with about 25 games. The original Xbox had about 2. The Sega CD came with 16 games, or 17, because I remember, I had an extra copy of Jurassic Park. But each of those systems had their own price range, because with retro, what I've come to learn and understand is that there is a rise and there is a decline in the pricing, but somewhere along the lines it stays somewhere in the middle. You just have to catch it at the right time. Just little things that I've learned over time, because now I budget with my spending. I keep a certain amount and I cap out at that, and I don't try to go over that, and I just keep it reasonable. And I just say, you know what, I'll just save this money for another time, another week. And I just had to erase the thought out of my head that just because I saw this game today doesn't mean I'll never see the game again. I mean, there's going to be plenty of places that I can get the game. So with that, I've learned the budget. I've learned to review these games and see what I really want. Then I moved more towards the line of finding games that I wanted necessarily in my collection. Because truth be told, I'll never be able to accumulate collections that I've seen where people have thousands upon thousands of games, because some of those games are so rare and some of them are so expensive that you'll literally break the bank trying to keep up. And it became, I got to a point of realization that, or I came to a point of realization that that's just what it is. So what I've been trying to do is get games that I want in my collection that I know I'll play, and then some games that are of value, and then some games that are just cheap. Like, I shop off of clearance. I go to thrift stores. I go to pawn shops. because I'm not picky when it comes to getting the game. I'm just, I have very, very small requirements. I would love for the label and the box to be in good condition and no scratches on the game. And that's kind of my smallest requirements. I mean, I got other little things that I'm picky about, but I don't care about the stickers that much because I have extra copies of boxes that I have laying around, and I just switch the label out. I mean, you could even do it with your DVD. You could just slide it right out, slide out the label of DVD cases that you don't use, but you got those DVDs. Or, I mean, if you done changed and transfer the data over to an external, and you know good and well you're not going to really be that caught up about the condition of the DVD box as far as having to have the disc in there and everything, I switch those out. Like my PS2 games, Xbox games, 360, I switch those out. I just take the label out, put it in a nice, pristine DVD box, and I just put the games in there. So it's like little tricks, tips, things that I've learned along the way. And like I said, my spending has gone down tremendously in comparison. I still buy a lot of games, but what I do now is I just go in the store and I buy in bulk, and then I bargain with the salesman or sales lady, whoever it may be, places I know that I can do that. And I try to buy games at a reasonable price now. Even some games that I know I'm not going to play anymore, just like SpritesNBytes was talking about. He was saying, pretty much, is there a certain limit to your collection? And given the fact that I'll be moving in another month or so, yeah, I'm definitely going to have to reach that peak of keeping my games within a certain amount, because I won't have any room. So in order to create room, I got to make room, which means I got to get rid of some of these games that I know good and well I'm not going to play. Or I played them, I've enjoyed them for what they were worth. It was games that I wanted in my collection that I never had opportunity to play. Played them, enjoyed them, but I don't see myself having any replay value, or they don't have no nostalgia, or, there's no keepsake. So it's all right for me to get rid of them. So yeah, I kind of got to that point of realization, and it's helped me along the way by budgeting, by reviewing games, by bargaining, shopping off clearance racks, going to thrift stores, pawn shops, and stuff like that, and looking for the better deals instead of just any deal or just buying games, because that's what I did. I used to just buy a bunch of games and then wouldn't even go back and play it, because I got tons of games that I can put behind games that I'll probably forget that I have unless I'm looking through my spreadsheet. So those are my thoughts on breaking the bank on buying video games. Tell me what your thoughts are. Have you ever experienced the same thing before? Other than that, I'm SpilLIN79. Make sure you check out SyberSnake7 channel, link down in the description, and also my boy SpritesNBytes as well. He just made a move. He just moved, and so yeah, we're all in that little transition. Other than that, I'm SpilLIN79, and I'm out.